Hello, this is Matt Cannon with my thoughts of the day. Just wanted to come to you and give you a few things that I've been pondering. I've been reading a bit of Charlie Munger lately, and if you don't know who Charlie Munger is, I've talked about him before. He is Warren Buffett's investment partner with Berkshire Hathaway. And the quote I read on him today was, "Take a simple idea and take it serious. Take a simple idea and take it serious." It seems simple enough, right? A simple idea and take it serious. Then I'm combining that with another thing that I read this weekend. Every day of our lives, we were on the verge of making those slight changes that would make all the difference. And it's by Mignon McLaughlin. And I came across that quote on 5 Bullet Friday, Tim Ferriss's newsletter that I've talked about before. And it's a powerful thing. If you think about it, how many things, little simple things, do we take serious? And one of the simple things that we can take serious more than anything is every day of our lives, we are on the verge of making those slight changes that could make all the difference. Every day of our lives, we are on the verge of making those changes that would make all the difference. So I've been thinking about that, and it's a simple thing, it's a simple concept, but like Charlie Munger says, I've been thinking about it seriously. So think about that for a second. What are some of the simple things in your life, slight changes that would make all the difference? And it's personal for all of us. So as I think about it and as you think about it, what I think of and what you think of are going to be two completely different things. But it stands true that there's simple things, and most of the time you're on the verge of making that change. And I'll just give you a few ideas. And these ideas are just things that I've thought of recently that are simple, but yet they can make all the difference. One of them is getting a good night's sleep. Oftentimes we don't realize how important sleep is, how it can help with so many areas of our life. Getting 8 hours, at least 7 hours a night, being religious about it. If we were as religious about sleep as we were about other things, it would make all the difference in our life, because sleep should be a non-negotiable. Experts agree, research shows that sleep is like one of those differentiators that makes everything different. Another thing that I can think of is Naval Ravikant's quote, "Read what you love until you love to read." Finding a love of reading, a love of learning, a love of just sitting down with a book, delayed gratification of just seeing where it might go, and being able to do that is a huge benefit. Fitness and exercise, you're never going to outfeel your physiology. If you're unfit or you're not feeling good, it's going to be very hard to feel good. You have to be healthy to feel good, truly good. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have some ailments and get through it and still have a positive disposition and outlook, but it's much better to take care of yourself and have your health in good shape so that everything else will be in good shape. And just, again, I'm thinking of these things. They're going to be different for you than they would be for me, but I'll leave you with one more. And Steve Jobs kind of had this when he came back to be CEO of Apple, interim CEO. He had figured out Pixar. He had took the helm of Pixar, and Pixar was successful. And that's actually how Steve Jobs became a billionaire, through Pixar. But then he became interim CEO of Apple. And one of the things he did is he reduced the number of products. He reduced the number of products that they were actually selling. He figured if we focused on very few things and did those few things well, quality over quantity, versus selling tons of things that we just can't focus, our supply chain is going to be difficult. Everything is going to be harder if we try to get complex and get huge with things. And so he simplified it. And his whole thing was learn what to say no to. Sometimes you have to learn what to say no to. A lot of the reasons we don't have the time, the reflective time to think on simple things seriously and to just be on the verge of making those slight changes that make a difference, because we don't have time. We are lacking time. So you have to be very aggressive with what you're not going to do, more so than taking on more. Like, success, paradoxically, is derived from having less to do than having more. If you're working harder to get success, you're probably going down a path that's going to not be sustainable in the long run. If you're learning how to chop wood, carry water, so to speak. You're learning how to just move fluidly. You're learning how to go forward in a way that you get stuff done, but you have a clear mind. It's better to have a clear mind and focus and be in a flow state and do something very purposefully than be flustered and distracted and do lots of things poorly. It's better to be focused and do something purposefully and effectively than do many things flustered, distracted, and ineffectively. So sometimes one of the simplest changes you can make is figuring out what are you doing today that you don't need to do. Simply, am I doing this every day, every week? And how can I get less of that in my life and more of the things I want to do? And that may seem scary, it may seem difficult, it may seem sometimes like you just don't know my situation, you don't understand where I'm coming from. And again, this is individual. These are just things that I've seen in my own life. I'm not trying to say to you that it's going to be the same for you, but I've seen it with me that as I have uninterrupted time, like even right now recording this video, I took time to get away and come out here and do this. So I had uninterrupted time to be able to take time for this. Now, this is just something that I enjoy doing. I appreciate doing it, and it helps me focus and think, coming out in nature. So think about what you can subtract from your life versus add. And the more you subtract and the more you limit, the more you're going to be able to make those small changes, those tiny, minuscule changes that can make all the difference. So this is Matt Cannon. These are my thoughts of the day. Signing out.